Community service. It's a requirement in most high schools here in South Florida, all but forcing teens to get involved. Well, tonight we're going to introduce you to an extraordinary young woman, not only putting in the hours, but putting it to a new level. You see, she's actually changing the lives of young women right here in South Florida.
So when I was 14 years old, I had this idea. I actually started praying about what I could do to earn community service hours. And I came up with this idea while praying, and it was to give away my own clothes to girls who loved clothes but couldn't afford the clothes for any other reason.
I met with Lindsay and she walked in, she was flanked by her parents, and she sat down on my couch and said, "I've got this idea." And she started talking about clothes and how when she put clothes on, she felt this kind of like amazing sense of dignity, and foster girls must not have that feeling, and I want them to have that feeling. I just heard her talk. So I've got this idea that if I can help them to feel that dignity, then I can share with them the hope and love of Christ, and these girls would not just know that they're princesses, but that they could be saved and adopted by God and be part of His family. And the idea was so simple, it was brilliant, and I looked at her parents and said, you guys are in big trouble, because I knew what it could become with God's vision behind it.
When I first heard about Taylor's Closet, I knew immediately that it would be something that affected many girls' lives. I didn't know how broad or how wide that would become, but I just knew that this was going to be something big and bigger than we all could imagine.
I started to send out letters to family and friends, and I just said, send me your used clothes, your gently used clothes, and send them to my home. So within 6 to 7 weeks, I had 70 huge, big black trash bags in my room. And I remember just being so overwhelmed by the quantity of trash bags in my room. I was just like, we have to do something with these clothes.
And so I said, well, we have to start small, so let's pick a handful of girls in foster care who could use new outfits and new clothing. And we'll take a Christmas party and we'll give you a room, and you can outfit these girls and help them to feel that dignity and love that's a part of your vision. And they did this on a Christmas party, a little cruise. And the girls loved it. I mean, they connected with it, and Lindsay and her friends felt that connection. And so from that, everything just kind of took off, and it was one of those kind of God things.
This is the night that we saw girls that were very hard, very guarded, within 5, 10, 15 minutes become like little girls. They were like twirling, they were dancing, they were hugging me, they were like, their eyes were lighting up, their countenance was so like glowing. And I remember talking to my mom, and I was like, what just happened from 5 minutes ago till now, when these girls were so hard, so guarded, and all of a sudden we're like besties now. Like I felt like sisters with these girls.
The response from everybody was so positive that Doug called us and said, I have an idea. I want you guys to come in. I want to talk to you about it. Like, okay. And I remember it so specifically. He said, we don't know how this is going to work, but we want to give you some space to have your own permanent store and do this full time. On the boat that night, there was a man whose daughter works for a company locally in Deerfield Beach called RCC Associates, and they build stores in malls. And so he had an idea that maybe this company would agree to build the store for us.
And so 14-year-old Lindsay shows up at this boardroom and pitches this idea among all these corporate executives and designers, and they love it. And you can just see God take that one step at a time. So 4 kids provided the space. They provided all the outfitting of the store, and Taylor's Closet became a reality just a few months later. And we began to see girls show up and the vision grow and grow and grow.
A young woman who has opened her closet and her heart. As a teenager, she knows how important having the right clothes can be to feeling good and fitting in. She also knows that for a lot of girls, wearing something nice and new is only a dream, which gave her an idea.
Clothes to teenage girls are like, not their lives, but a very important part in their lives.
There are about 4,000 boys and girls growing up in foster homes. Statewide, it's about 9,000, and nationwide, 500,000 boys and girls growing up with foster parents.
So Alex Shanks, the pastor of Christ Church, was visiting our original store and was really touched by what he saw.
My first experience with Taylor's Closet, I actually kind of happened in on a tour, and then I heard the story of how God laid it on the heart of Lindsay to begin this ministry that would speak into the hearts of girls, the power of God's love and their infinite value and worth.
And fast forward a year later, and we are meeting him on the property here, and he is wanting to hear all about Taylor's Closet in our heart.
We had a meeting, and through some conversations with some other folks and a realization that maybe Taylor's Closet was in need of some additional space, the thrift store was a building we were going to throw away. It was as if God spoke up and said, I've got a reason for that building. I've got a purpose that is brand new. And God spoke to us as a church that it was time to give that building to Taylor's Closet so that it might be repurposed, that the old building might be made new again, that it might be used for the very kingdom of God so that tons of girls could come week after week and experience their infinite value and worth through this grace of Jesus Christ.
This year we began our Awaken program, which is a mentoring life skills program, which is targeted for girls that are 18 and older. And we specifically wanted to work with them because those are the girls that age out of the foster care system. So we wanted to really provide them with life skills programs such as cooking and sewing and art and discipleship, and really kind of trying hard to be the mom and grandma that they didn't have and show them those kind of skills.
It's all about their worth and loving them. And I can see how we can actually have a hand in changing tons of girls' lives. And it's possible. Just think about that. Like, we could have a hand in changing tons of girls' lives just by loving them and going deeper with them. And like, that's worth it.